It was bitterly cold, and snowing heavily. Night was falling, the night of Christmas Eve. On this chilly and dark evening, a little girl was walking slowly down the street. She wasn't wearing a hat, gloves, or shoes. When she left home, she had worn a pair of slippers, but they were much too big, slippers her mom usually wore. As she crossed the road, two carriages rushed by, scaring her so much that she lost both shoes. One slipper disappeared, and another was snatched by a boy who ran off with it, saying he could use it as a cradle someday. So now, the poor girl had to walk barefoot. Her tiny feet turned red and blue from the cold. In her old apron, she carried many matches, and held a bunch in her hand. Not a single match had been sold all day, nor had anyone given her even a penny. Poor little girl! She was cold and hungry, trembling as she walked. Snowflakes fell onto her golden curls, which curled beautifully around her shoulders, but she didn't notice how pretty she looked. Lights glowed from every window, and the smell of roast turkey filled the air. It was Christmas Eve, after all, she couldn't forget that. She sat down in a corner between two houses, huddling up with her legs drawn close. She felt even colder. She didn't dare go home because she hadn't sold any matches and had no money. Her dad would surely punish her. Besides, it was just as cold at home. They only had a roof over their heads, and despite patching the biggest cracks with rags, the wind still seeped through. Her little hands were almost frozen stiff. Oh, if only she could light one small match! Would she dare take one from the bundle and strike it against the wall to warm her hands? Finally, she took one out. Fizz! The match lit up, glowing brightly. She cupped her hands around the flame. How warm and bright the flame was, like a tiny candle. It was magical. The girl felt as if she were sitting in front of a roaring fire, complete with shiny brass feet and handles, blazing warmly. But just as she reached out her feet to warm them, the flame went out, and the fireplace vanished. There she sat, holding nothing but a burnt matchstick. She struck another match. This time, the light fell on the wall, turning it transparent like gauze, revealing the room beyond. A white tablecloth covered the table, adorned with fine plates and bowls. A deliciously roasted turkey stuffed with apples and plums gave off a mouth-watering aroma. Even better, the turkey jumped off the plate, knife and fork still stuck in its back, waddling towards the poor girl. Then, the match flickered out, leaving her facing a thick, cold wall once more. She lit another match. This time, she found herself under a beautiful Christmas tree. It was bigger and more splendid than any she'd seen through the windows of rich families during past Christmases. Thousands of candles burned brightly on the green branches, and many lovely pictures hung among them, twinkling like those in store windows. Reaching out for one of the pictures, the match went out again. The candle flames rose higher and higher, turning into stars twinkling in the sky. One star shot across the sky, leaving a long trail of red light. "Someone is going to heaven," the girl whispered, remembering what her grandmother used to tell her, that when a star falls, a soul goes to God. She struck another match. This time, her beloved grandmother appeared in the glow, looking so kind and loving. "Grandma," the girl cried, Oh, please take me with you. I know you'll disappear when the match goes out, just like the warm fire, the yummy turkey, and the beautiful Christmas tree. Quickly, she lit all the remaining matches to keep her grandmother there. The bright light made everything look as bright as day. Grandma never looked so tall or beautiful. She picked up the girl, holding her close. Together, they flew away, rising higher and higher, until they reached a place where there was no cold, hunger, or pain. The next morning, the little girl was found sitting in the corner, her cheeks rosy, and a smile on her lips. She had died of cold on Christmas Eve. As the New Year's sun rose, it shone upon her tiny body. She sat there, clutching a handful of burnt matchsticks. She was just trying to warm herself, people said. No one knew about the wonderful things she had seen or how happy she had been, flying off with her grandma toward a new year full of happiness. May every child who hears or reads this story learn to be strong, brave, and always remember to be grateful and cherish what they have. Let this tale serve as a beacon in our hearts, guiding us to find our own paths to happiness.